Everyone, we're here with Tammy Tran, our curator of manuscripts and archives, and she's going to tell us about her research journey she's taken on the root called ginseng.
Hi everyone, so welcome to my little corner of obsession of research. So to introduce everyone, I wanted to show an illustration of American ginseng right over here. So you can see a little berries right over here, some leaves, and what it's really known for is its roots, which actually has properties in reducing inflammation and also boosting immunity. And that is why it was such a hot commodity at one point, and actually still a hot commodity today. But while researching on ginseng and realizing that it's native in America, specifically along the Appalachia and in Virginia, Loudoun County, West Virginia and Southwestern Virginia, I learned a lot about how this plant created like basically global encounters and relationships between America and China. And so one of the things I wanted also to show is that people were starting to talk about it more. So this article specifically is in 1903, and it actually talks about like what ginseng is as a remedy to kind of explain to people why it's valuable. And you also actually start seeing people posting, especially in the early 1800s, basically people wanting ginseng and selling ginseng. And the reason is because they could sell it to China and get a large amount of profit. From there, I kind of dig further like how this became a global object. And it turns out that China at one point was low on ginseng, and so they were trying to find more of it. And so when they realized America had some, they were willing to pay for it. And so ginseng became harvested. People were hunting for it, digging for it, and basically along the Appalachia, specifically Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, they were actually bringing all these ginseng into New York to a port so they could ship it over to China. Important things about ginseng too that I think is worthy to note is that it was already present or known among the early American colonists since like the 1700s because they learned about the plant through the Canadians as well as the Native Americans who taught them about the plant and how to harvest them. And so there was already a presence of it, even in Leesburg. Here's another example. Apothecaries, drugstores, and even people who supply groceries and produce were already selling ginseng. Also, I learned that in the 1700s, when they were being aware of it, they actually also used it as a way to also get more funding for the American Revolution. So yeah, and this book in particular actually talks more about it here, how America, before, during, and after the American Revolution, how did they use ginseng as a way to establish their relationship with East Asia. So yeah, it's still an ongoing project. I hope to learn more, so stay tuned.
Yeah, thanks, Tammy. And tell our audience why did you get into this?
Oh yeah, so I grew up with a lot of Chinese ointments growing up, and so like I'm obsessed with Tiger Balm, white flower oil. They don't have ginseng, but I was like curious about what was in the ingredients and like other ointments, and so one thing led to another, and that there are ointments that I have at home that uses ginseng. And I'm like, oh, let me see if we have ginseng in America, like if there's any needed. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have a lot. So, and then yeah, so I started using Thomas Balch amazing resources to dig further into this topic. So it's been a fun ride the last few weeks.
Yay, perfect. Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah.